Okay, so this is going to be my guide for Vindicta, the new God Wars Dungeon 2 boss. For the Zaros faction, there's technically two bosses, it's Vindicta and Gorvec. So we're going to go into the gear and then into a kill. Okay, so this is going to be the gear setup for more than one of the God Wars bosses actually. This is going to be my gear setup for Hellway, Gregorovic and Vindicta on both easy and normal modes. Couple of differences between the two. This is basically it for easy mode. This is the same gear as I had in my Twin Furies guide. Everything's exactly the same. I'm cheapskating out on a couple items. You can switch this out for DPS gear. I'd recommend doing so if you can afford it / want to. Just basically equip the best melee gear you have if you're scything it, or the best mage gear you have if you're using mage, best range for range, etc. I wouldn't recommend Void for the challenge modes. I think they do a bit too much damage for Void to be effective. Maybe on the normal modes, yet to test it. We'll do so later on. Inventory wise, take a switch for a shield. Couple bosses where you don't really need it. For example, Hellway, don't really need it. Gregorovic, don't really need it either. Vindicta, yes, you will need it. But you can take those if you want. I just have them just in case. Overloads, renewals, prayer, brews, food, portents just in case, vigor, adrenaline pot, basic stuff. That is for your normal modes. What you'd want to do on hard mode is take 2 less super restores, fill those with brews instead. If you use them, great gun cans, have like maybe 3 or 4 in the bottom, and then you want a yak filled with half with brews, half with sharks, just so you've got more food there. Especially for Vindicta. The other two you should be okay. But normal mode, I'd recommend a Titan or a Nihil, whatever it is you're using, because you can get back fairly quickly and the kills aren't that difficult, let's face it. So that's the equipment for well, it's actually for all of the God Wars Dungeon 2 bosses, including Twin Furies as well. So that's it. Okay, so I'm going to go in and straight off the bat just kill Vindicta as you would normally. Start with a kill, no adrenaline or anything. Helps if I'm on the right action bar, doesn't it? So this first part's fairly easy. It's just a case of pray melee and hit him. There's not a lot more to it. What he does in a second, if I had FPS it would have shown, but I don't. He puts his swords in the air and perpendicular to where he sort of points the swords is where the dragon breath is gonna. That's where the line. So he'll have pointed his swords in this direction, and the fire breath has gone there. Again, he's probably gonna do it, but my computer really doesn't. Yeah, there you go. Look, so it's along that line. He was sort of facing his blades that way. It's along that line. My computer just doesn't cope very well with the particles on this fire breath, which is really irritating. I could turn the graphics down, but I don't see why I should have to. I have a ridiculous computer. Why should I have to turn it down for one effect? But yeah, basically just keep DPSing him down. Oh my god. DPS him down. Now this is where the fight gets interesting. He's done his melee attack there. He'll do a range attack now. There we go, which I've just resonanced using the resonance ability. He's going to now fly to a corner. He's in that corner, so run perpendicular to where you were and to where he is to avoid the fire breath, because he'll just shoot it at wherever you're standing. I'm going to then devotion and muck it up. Basically, it's every other one of these you want to use a resonance ability. So, for example, let me just get myself sorted. He's going to do. Actually, he's not going to do a melee attack because, yeah, I spent too long. Basically, it's like a time type thing. There's a certain length of time between him flying away to him attacking. So he's going to do a melee attack, boom, and he's going to do a ranged attack. You see the little dart fly out, there it is. I barricaded it because everything else was on cooldown. So then he's going to shoot the fire, run away. I'm actually going to reflect this one, do some damage back to him, because I don't have anything else off. I'm going to slaughter him before he flies away. Run this way. Prior Flake, debilitate, lowers the damage. Again, nothing was off cooldown. I'm making the right dog's tits of this, but you know, whatever. So I'm going to run over here. I'm going to devotion this, so you should do a melee hit. There it was. Now the ranged hit. There it was. Now melee prayer again for the melee hit. There it is. And he's been a sod. And he's dead. Just like that. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to try and get a screenshot of, not a screenshot, but like a better clip of the blades at the start, but yeah, that's a full kill. Okay, so he's about to do his blades, and we're going to try and watch for them. There they are, look, they're there and there. Fire goes there. It's basically whichever direction he sort of looks in is where the fire is going to come from. So you want to like sidestep it. That's basically it in terms of mechanics. There's not a lot to this fight. Challenge mode is significantly more difficult, which I will show in a sec. But yeah, that's basically it for this. Okay, so this is going to be a challenge mode kill now. The first part of the fight is pretty similar to normal mode. As you can see, I've changed my setup now. I've got a yak and stuff. I'm actually going to activate Vamp Aura and my Vamp Scrim because they do significantly help, and I want to make sure that I don't muck up and die and run out of food because I actually want to get a full kill recorded. It can be done without. I'm just doing it for safety, basically. So yeah, as before, same thing. Pretty easy. Standard stuff. Mucking up the fire breath. As you can see, it hits more. It was hitting like 1,000 every take as opposed to the 600s. But yeah, same thing basically. Just basically DPS out. Now on this one I'm going to time a Zerk. I'm going to Zerk when it gets to probably about 200k HP, because then while the animation of the dragon hopping over and stuff's occurring, I can actually do some decent damage. That's the plan anyway. Yeah, it's basically just a case of brew up when you need to and stuff. There's the fire, and as per usual, my computer just goes, nope, don't want to. So I'm actually going to Zerk now. Eat up, eat one of them, then a Adrenaline Pot. I know, waste of adrenaline, but had to eat. Because I'm getting smacked a new one. Just from the basic deeps. And this lag of the fire, which they need to fix. They need to lower the particles on this, to be honest. That'll hurry up with NXT. Because I imagine in NXT this will be fine. There's the dragon. Which is irritating because it's just pulled me to the fire. Now I need to make sure that I res this hit, because this will hit me to full. Yep, definitely. Switch those abilities over, get best out on the bar. This is basically shield camp from now, or defender in my case. Worth having. Extra deeps. And I'll muck this up, I think. Nope, just in time. Again, it's that switch, because this the ranged hit on hard mode hits like up to 6k without prayer and stuff, which obviously is pretty painful. I'm going to actually reflect this one. Put the prayer on there to lower the hit against me. 1450 reflect. Well worth doing. Slaughter as he goes away. Try and barge into him. Get myself closer. Do the resonance. Heals me up to full. Do some tendrils as he goes away. Get that damage in while I'm away from it. Spawn in that corner. The fire's going to be there. Again, reflect it because my res isn't up. The alternative to this, which is what I was doing before, is wearing 3 pieces of raids gear, which gives you the defensive cooldown refresh. I'm getting mucked over by lack of FPS. It's really bad. They need to fix it, and also invisible fire, which is irritating. It's like there's no fire trail there, but I'm getting hit by fire. It's like, okay, thanks for that. It's just watching your HP, making sure that you're not that you're not going to get smacked anyone, basically. And there's the melee hit. Income range hit. Always try and res that when you can. Free HP is very welcome, basically. I'm going to slaughter it, move him a square, get a basic in, do a reflect, pray flick. This is one that I've found probably the most difficult, to be fair. Once you get your tactic down, it's okay, but it's not the easiest. See that he skipped his melee attack that one because it's too far away, but once you get the tactic down, it's okay. It's just getting that survivability in there. It's just getting your rotation down, making sure that you know what you're doing. After that, it's not too bad. It's just, I don't know. Because this first part, you think, alright, yeah, cool, I've killed it. No, there's a dragon to kill now. Who, if you watch the speed of his attacks, is pretty ridiculous. So it's well worth using your revenge ability, because they build up very quickly. The stacks on revenge, which gives you extra damage on your abilities. A bit like Berserk, but it's obviously got to build up. You're wielding a shield, so you lose out on the DPS. Again, it's a case of heal up. Gonna surge away, too much fire around me. Then gonna reflect. Get some of the damage back on him when he does hit me. Also halves the damage against me. And eat up because I'm getting torn a new one. And as you can see that I'm not like making too many mock-ups, it's just the sheer amount of damage that he does, it's insane. I finally get a bit of respite with Devotion, but you know, and I've got Vampirism on as well, and a Vampora, so it's like I have some decent sort of healing going on, but it's still just tearing me a new one. I'm still yet to figure out how where the fire is going to come from on this phase, as it were. Still yet to figure that one out, but there doesn't appear to be a pattern. I think maybe it's just the direction which the dragon was facing before he took flight, but it seems a bit lame and easy for Jagex, to be honest. No, see, no, it wasn't it. He was facing that way and he's gone that way, so there will be some indicator, but I don't know, can't see it. And I've looked on a few hard mode kills and no joy. Just can't tell what it is. But yeah, basically cycling defenses. This is actually pretty good base tanking practice from like raids and stuff. Getting these abilities in the right cycle so that you're sort of always under the protection of something, whether it be a reflect, a resonance, a cade, devotion, anything. That my things dropped, my reflex dropped, so I'm now going to debilitate, which is hit, which is nice. I'm going to run away and use revenge as I'm running. Then a slaughter and walk in. Let those stacks build up a bit. Then use destroy. I'm actually going to not keep attacking for now. I'm going to barge it and then use assault. And as you can see, like, my FPS has just gone so low. I need to get these particles off the screen. And I'm taking damage. I'm taking damage. Why? There's no fire there. So irritating. They really need to fix that ASAP. It's just because that's pretty screwed me over. I didn't notice I was taking that until I got rid of your HP. It seems that like the fire effect actually remains there longer than the fire animation. It seems that whether it's just my PC can only handle 2 sort of lines, I don't know, but it's pretty consistent in the way that it doesn't sort of show. And I'll lose HP for and stuff. Get a reflect in there, get a revenge in there. Actually just going to concentrate on getting this without mucking it up. But yeah, you know, hitting some decent numbers now that the revenge stacks are high. Should hopefully kill it now. Yeah, there we go. Boom, it's dead. But the dragon itself takes up more than half the fight. It's insane. Like, Vindicta, it's just like, oh yeah, I was fighting that thing, wasn't I, before? But, yeah, that's a kill. As you can see, look, you can only really get one kill in an event safely anyway. I made a couple of muck-ups, but even so, painful to say the least. Yeah, that's challenge mode. So, to sum up then, Vindicta. Avoid fire, number 1. Resonance, that second attack after the dragon's flown. If it takes a long time for him to get to you, then resonance it first, because he won't do the melee attacks. It's melee range, the range one hits more, so it's worth resonance in that one. If you've got reflect up, do that. Barricade, debilitate, any of your defensives that lower the damage that you're going to take, do those. Also preflick if you're skilled enough. It's actually really good practice for bosses like Araxor and stuff. I can see why they put those mechanics in to make, well, basically for a transition between lower tier PVM and higher tier PVM. There's a lot of things in God Wars 2 that are in other bosses. It's them reusing mechanics, but it's also good practice. But yeah, Vindicta, easy mode, quite easy. Challenge mode, probably the most difficult out of all of them, just because of the length of the fight and how much damage you can take if you muck up. I'd recommend lowering your settings if you actually need to, because the fire is just awful. If you have no FPS, you can't really outrun it properly, and you can get easily KO'd if you're not watching. So lower your settings if you've got a computer that struggles normally. But yeah, that's basically Vindicta. Fairly easy. Go for it.